A new experiment in GTA 5. Today we will test which car can fly across the entire map using a giant ramp. Watch the video till the end, give it a like, and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss new experiments.
Hi guys! As always, your favorite little penguin Koki is here with you. And today, welcome to a new experiment where we'll test which car can make it across the entire GTA 5 map using a giant ramp. So make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and of course, check out the awesome cars I've prepared for today. We're starting off with mini go-karts, fast supercars, cars with turbo boosters, massive off-roaders, and of course the most unusual Lambo on tracks. So make sure to watch the video until the end. We'll test all these cars and see which one can make it all the way to the end of the GTA 5 map. So make sure to hit like, subscribe, and of course don't forget the bell so you don't miss any awesome new videos just like this one. As for me, I think this Lambo is definitely going to make it to the finish line today. But I suggest we start with the smallest car. That's the go-kart. Yep, a real go-kart. If you've ever ridden a go-kart even once in your life, you definitely owe me a like. But I think this is going to be the most extreme go-kart in the history of go-karts. Who else has ever gone down such a giant ramp in such a tiny go-kart? Holy moly, that's it. 400 kilometers per hour. Seriously? Let's make it 500. 500 kilometers per hour on a go-kart? Have you ever seen anything like that? I don't think so, ever. This ramp is honestly way too huge, but still, we're flying, and the go-kart seems way too light. It's getting blown around by the wind a bit, and it looks like we might not even make it to the city center. Damn! Yeah, and we might even fall into the water too. Now, it's not a go-kart anymore, it's a real submarine. Bang! Bang! I think we flew about 2,000 meters, if not less. Stop! 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 And what's this? A golf cart? Seriously? Who even came up with this? Who put it here? Well, okay, fine. Let's go test it out, I think. No, wait! Stop! 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 It's completely uncontrollable. Now that's what I call a brake-free descent. What's happening? Why is it spinning and twisting? How do you even control this thing? No! Stop, stop. The roof got ripped off. Convertible. Alright, let's go. There it is. Yeah, I definitely didn't expect that at all, but that was really intense. Now it's a convertible, but without a roof at least. It's lighter, which means it'll fly even farther. That was honestly really funny. Those were some ice dances. But okay. We're flying and going even farther. Look, for real. It's probably about 3,000 meters by now. That's awesome. Oh, we parked right next to the dumpster. You could just throw it out right here. That's it. It's no longer fit to drive. Whoa. It's time for real supercars. I suggest we start with the Merc because I think it's just a bit slower than the Lambo. Although, ooh, this is a Merc from the future. It's actually really hardcore. By the way, write in the comments which one you think is better, the Merc or the Lambo. I think the Lambo will win in both speed and range. Share your guesses in the comments. And today, we're definitely going to test that. With full acceleration, deploying the active spoiler 5, 100, 600, 700, 800, and then 850 kilometers per hour. A truly remarkable and impressive speed. Can you imagine that? That's exactly why I love supercars. They're incredibly fast and should be able to fly really far. By the way, do you see that? That huge building or go-kart landed there. And apparently, I'm flying right towards it too. Stop! Seriously? So the go-kart is just as fast as the Mercedes from the future? Are you kidding me? Hello? I think that's a perfect parking job. After a flight like that, this car can only be parked like this on a table. Honestly, I thought the result would be much better. And now it's time to compare the Lambo and the Mercedes. Honestly, I have more faith in the Lambo because it's a Lambo, a Lamborghini Huracan, and on top of that, it's a super sport racing car. Let's go! Top speed, let's see, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800. And looks like they have the same speed, exactly the same. Alright. The most important thing is to check the aerodynamics because it's not just about speed. First, it's the weight of the car, and second, it's how well the car flies. The aerodynamics of the body, right? Right. But I think it flies exactly the same way. Stop! Seriously? There's really no difference at all? Stop! Or is there? Woohoo! The Lambo flew 10 meters farther and also crashed into the pole. Hello, miss? This is the most perfect parking job for two supercars. It's like street races were going on and they ended very badly. That's exactly what it looks like. Wait, hold on. Wait, we still have one more Lambo. Granted, it's constructed entirely out of cardboard, but I genuinely think, whoa, what? I truly believe that's not a significant deal at all, especially considering just how incredibly fast it seemed to me. Let's go. Seriously? 1,000? 1,150? Is this some kind of prank or what? Why? It's a cardboard Lambo. Its engine is made of cardboard. Here it is. Whoa, what? What? That's impossible. How is that even possible? A cardboard Lambo is cooler than a Mercedes and a regular Lambo? Look, it really flies farther. I can see our Lambo and the Mercedes, but this Lambo lands right on the roof. Go ape! This is really cool. This is the winner so far, the cardboard Lambo. I would never have believed it. So this is something really interesting and unusual because it's kind of like a supercar but with a turbo booster. Ow! Quiet, stop. I didn't even want to fly down. What kind of prank is this? Okay, let's go. We've got a turbo booster. Let's get up to maximum speed and apparently from here on out, we'll be flying with the turbo booster. 700 kilometers per hour isn't that much, of course, but at least we've got a turbo booster. I feel like I can use it endlessly. Well, not endlessly, exactly. At least until the fuel runs out, but almost endlessly. It really feels like we're flying like a rocket. All right, okay, let me show you a life hack. We're flying, accelerating 250, almost 300 kilometers per hour. Okay, whoa. Hard to control. Easy. Whoa. Easy. Let's level out. Look, I'm really flying. Of course, there are some minor issues because I've never driven cars with turbo boosters like a rocket. This is basically a real rocket. All right. Okay. 5 minutes in, flight is normal. So far, everything seems great. But we're flying really low. I see mountains ahead, so let's raise it by 5 degrees. Look, it actually works. The most important thing now is that we have enough fuel and that we can really make it to the finish line in this turbojet car. I truly believe we can do it. Look, we've already flown over more than half the map. All that's left for us to do is get over this Vinewood Mountain, the highest point in GTA. But I don't think that's a problem for us. Especially if you hit the like button, then we'll definitely have enough fuel. No. We're going down. Come on, hurry up and hit like or it won't work out. Whoa, thank you. There really were some fuel issues, but you're like, actually help? Okay, let's go. The most important thing is to get the car higher. Come on. No, we're about to hit the mountain. No, go higher. Woohoo! Look, it's actually working. This is the highest mountain in GTA, and we're flying over it with no problem at all. Ho! See how far our ramp is already? And it looks like this is the first car that easily passed this challenge. Well, it makes sense because it has turbo boost. And overall, it's super easy for it to fly across the entire GTA 5 map. So if you wrote it in the comments, congratulations, you'll get a heart from me. And that means you're the winner today. But let's go test the next cars. Because one winner is good, but two winners are even better. The supercars just keep coming and coming. The only thing is, this isn't an ordinary supercar, it's a Ferrari made out of Lego. Of course, today's car collection is very unusual, and it's really interesting to see which of these cars will turn out to be cooler. Because I honestly never expected the cardboard Lambo to fly that far. But maybe this Lego Ferrari will break its record. Unfortunately, there are no superpowers here. The car can't fly, it doesn't have a turbo booster, it can't jump or anything like that. So we have to test it under normal conditions. But I think since it's made of Lego, it's going to be a little bit slower. And, well, yeah, it showed the worst result, just like the golf cart. There it is. Oops. A perfect landing. I think this Lego car really belongs in the trash. Oops. A perfect landing. That's it. We'll just leave it right here next to the golf cart. Now, this is what we really need. Two cars parked in the same spot. The worst result? One of the worst results. All right, the powerful supercars are now done. And the rugged off-roaders are up next. Well, honestly, it's hard to even call this vehicle an off-roader. It's a police car. Let's see how cool it is. Seriously? 1,000? 1,100? I don't get what's so special about it. Seriously, today the supercars are flying worse than the police cars. And this police car looks at least 50 years old, if not more. Seriously, it's not a Lamborghini, not a Ferrari, not a Mercedes. Okay, we're flying right into the city center, and so far this is one of the best results. The car, of course, took a lot of damage, and now you can't even flip it over. That's it, the criminals are free. Let's keep testing more cars. By the way, we're not out of supercars yet. We've got this AMG Mercedes, but not just any, it's got super big wheels and is really fast. This is a Mercedes AMG GT63. It should be really fast, and considering it has huge wheels, it should be heavier than a regular car. So honestly, it's unclear, really unclear how far it's gonna fly, and it's spinning too. What is that? Are those two turbo boosters in the center, or what is that? But it's flying really badly. Wait, seriously? We only flew about 500 meters. Are you kidding me? That's the worst result. Of all things, I definitely couldn't have expected that a machine like this would only fly 500 meters. And I also didn't expect the hood to fall off. That's just sad. A turbo tractor? Seriously? I really couldn't have expected that. Just look at that spoiler. Look at those giant wheels. And it's really a 3-seater turbo tractor. Yeah, the car collection is really surprising me today. But nevertheless, we're going for maximum acceleration. 1,100 kilometers per hour. It even almost hit 1,200. Seriously? Alright, the tractor should fly really far. The only downside is that it doesn't have any superpowers, although I think that making this tractor a turbo tractor is already a huge superpower. That's already a massive superpower. It flies farther than a Lamborghini, farther than a Ferrari. That's insane! Hello? And we knock over the truck. Look! That's a knockout. Perfect! A perfect hit. Ouch! Yeah. But the most important thing is that the tractor actually showed a really impressive result and made it all the way to the city center. Yeah, right to the center. But now we're moving on to the real heavy artillery car from Arena War. If you didn't know, these are cars designed for the zombie apocalypse. Why is it so fast? First of all, we've got miniguns. Second, it's fully armored with spikes, ramps, and it can also jump. So I'm sure this car will make it at least to the middle of the map, especially since it's also fast. As we've seen, it's really awesome. Come on, 1,000. We've got 1,000. Let's go jump at the last moment. Woohoo! We're flying! We should at least make it to the city center with this car. Although, here's one question. If this car is armored, it should be really heavy, at least 2 or 3 times heavier than a regular car. And it looks like that's actually the case. Look, we're just dropping like a rock. We didn't even make it to the city center. Even though we were going 1,000 kilometers per hour, it just drops like a rock, and apparently that's the end of our flight. That's disappointing. I was really hoping for more, but it's no big deal. Let's check it out. Maybe the tank from Arena War would turn out to be cooler. Although, I actually think it's the complete opposite. If the previous car was heavy, then the tank must be at least 10 times heavier. But, okay, let's check it out. That's what we're here for today, to test all this. Here we go, the brake-free descent has started, guys. Did you order a brake-free descent? Well, here is. Showed up on its own. You weren't expecting, but came anyway without warning. Let's go! Come on! Woohoo! No! How am I even supposed to accelerate when we've got a battering ram in front? It gets caught and I can't pick up speed. But we still managed to hit at least 500 kilometers per hour. And listen, despite the tank being really heavy, it flies really well and lands almost in the same spot where our first go-kart crashed. By the way, the Mercedes landed much earlier. Can you imagine this tank flew farther than the Mercedes, even though it didn't even accelerate and pulled off such a cool stunt? It's perfect. This car is just perfect. Considering it's designed for a zombie apocalypse and it's a tank, it definitely did its job 100%. Well, we have only 3 cars left, and with each round, the chances of reaching the finish line get smaller and smaller. So far, just a reminder, only 1 car has made it to the finish. And let's hope that at least one of these 3 remaining cars will also make it to the finish today. Let's go. 600, 700, 800, 900 kilometers per hour. Come on, 900 kilometers per hour. The sports Kamaz should make it. It's very heavy. I can already truly feel just how incredibly heavy it is. Now it's simply going to drop straight down like a massive rock again. Look, it genuinely seemed to be flying quite fine. And yet, now it just suddenly drops like a real solid rock, descending directly toward our tank. That's the huge problem with these heavy vehicles. First, they slowly accelerate and then they just drop like a rock. So let's park our vehicle and we'll have this kind of tandem Kamaz and the arena war tank. Perfect! Alright, 2 vehicles. And I suggest we start with the smallest one. That makes sense overall. Monster truck boat. Hey, have you ever seen anything like that? Seriously. It's a monster, it's a boat. First of all, and second, it's a monster truck. Or actually, it's a monster truck, and secondly, it's a boat. This is, of course, really cool, but something tells me that considering monster trucks are already heavy and boats are even heavier, this is just some kind of deadly combo that today will make it, at best, to our tank with the Kamaz. Seriously? Why do all the vehicles land there? What kind of Bermuda Triangle is that? Is this some kind of prank? Joke? Seriously? Look, it was perfect landing. But you know what? So we landed, and you might think, oh, this monster truck is really bad. But if I show you what it can do, just watch. So we just drove through everything. Oh, racing. Let's go. Why am I so slow? Why am I so slow? Come on, speed up. Ugh, these 2 jet skis are passing me. But at least it's really a boat that can actually float. So you sail along, then you spot land, you just drive, then you see water, you just sail. Everything's perfect, everything's smooth. So at the very least, this car deserves a like just for that. And now, let's go test out the coolest car of the day. Well, here it is, the legendary car. The biggest Lambo centipede. Or rather, decapede, I'd say, because it has 10 wheels. But that doesn't change the fact that it's a gigantic car. Why is it so fast? Look, we're accelerating and wow! Because it has gigantic wheels, we actually got a bit stuck in the texture and broke the GTO. But that's not a big deal. The main thing is that we're flying. And it looks like it's dropping like a stone. It's really heavy. Yeah, look, it's just flying and I was dropping straight down like a stone. I can't do anything. I don't have any superpowers. Damn! You'd think it's a cool car. Really unusual. But because it's so heavy, without superpowers, that's it gets stuck right in the ghetto area. And just the most ordinary result. We've had cars that did worse, and cars that did better. So if you like this video and want more like it, be sure to hit like and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss new experiments. Because we're gonna be testing even cooler cars, and the experiments will be even better. So make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell. And as always, it was me, your favorite little penguin, and we'll see each other again. Bye-bye!